time to jump in and make this website really sing. So let's take a look at our pages and the structure. I'll also show you the drag and drop functionality that exists within the page editor. We'll take a little look at SEO and some other goodies. Let's dive in. On the left-hand side here, you're going to notice there are a range of different things, but the obvious one to click on right now, because we want to learn how to edit our pages, is of course to click on Pages. And here you're going to see a list of the different pages that exist on this website, and not surprisingly, those pages are reflected up here in the navigation. And look what happens if I take this About page and I just drag it down. You can actually reorder the navigation set by changing the order in the sidebar of where your pages exist, and you can see that already has updated. We want the contact page down the very bottom, no problem. Let's click and drag and you're done. Now, I will point out also that if you decide that you don't want one of these pages appearing in the menu, what you can actually do is click on the eye symbol and that will hide that page away from the menu. Now, that page will still be accessible by search engines, so let me show you the advanced settings behind every single page that will allow you to control who finds the page and where. So you'll notice that we can click this little edit page button. If we click on menu itself, that's going to be editing the page. That's going to take us to that page to edit. But if I click on the pencil and hit save, I get this menu option here, and under the advanced settings, I've got a whole range of different options here, and down the bottom, I can actually password protect the page if I like, but this one here is the one we want. If you hide it from your menu, you're going to want to hide it from search engines as well. Now, on the other side, you may love this page so much you're like, this is my home page. And of course, you can see we have a button for that as well. Scrolling up, you can help people to find your page by inserting the correct keywords and search terms that people are searching for into your page description, into your page keywords, and that is going to help Google and other search engines index your page and help it be found by people searching online. So for me, this will all be about fruit and pears and apples. For you, it's going to be a little different, but of course, just use your common sense. Don't go crazy putting in 100 different words that relate to your industry. Just keep it conversational and you'll stay on the right side of the search engines. Now, let's edit a page. I think it's worth adding a new page right now, and we can do this with a click. And I will point out while we're here, you can of course add an external page, which is a link to a page existing off your website. Let's just say for some reason you wanted to link from your website off to a different place, might be an intranet or some such thing. That's how you do that. But we're adding a page here. So I'm going to put in the name of my page, apples. There we go. And we need to put in a slug as well. Let's put in apples for that. And then under advanced settings, if I put nothing, then the page title is just going to be apples. But I want it to be apples and pears for my fruit shop. And I could put in a nice description as well. And then we come down here and we save our settings. This launches the page editor, and we now have a completely blank page that we need to populate out. Now on the left-hand side here, if we jump out of pages and we click into modules, we have a whole host of different things that you can drag and drop onto the page. For example, let's drag this title onto here, and obviously we can enter our title. Let's just do that. And then we can put an image. Let's put an image on here as well. Just drag and drop. Now, obviously I can choose an image from my library. I'm actually going to go new folder. I'm going to call this products. Click OK. Just keep everything in a nice orderly fashion. So there we go. My image is uploaded. Double click on that and it will automatically insert that onto the page. Looking not too bad. I can move it around wherever I want, right align it, left alignment. That's all fine. And then we've got text here we could put on the page as well, and so on and so on. And I know what you're thinking, Paddy, that is not a good looking page and that is going to take forever. And you're right. These modules are fantastic when you want to add something to your page like an individual video or you want to embed a new picture. But what I recommend you try first is actually jumping into the sections section. So the section section is essentially a whole raft of pre-designed sections for your website comprised of all of those drag and drop modules. But because we've had the programmers and the designers create these from the bookmark team, it means that things are possible in sections that are not going to be possible with you just manually dragging and dropping. So you can get some amazing looking designs. We've got a whole bunch of About Us designs here. Let's click on that one. Let's go down here for a call to action. Visit our store. Maybe we need a contact form. Let's click on this one here with a map. And that already is looking great. I'm going to hit save on that. And that way we can jump out of the section here so that I can see what we've done. And in just a few seconds, I've created all of these sections here to create a really nice looking little web page. And let's say I really like this layout, but I don't want this text here. Well, I just delete the piece that I don't want. Or let's say I did want to have some additional text on the page, but I don't want it sitting above. I can come and grab my text from the modules area and just hold it directly below the image. And look, you can see what's going to happen. It's going to give me a text area here where I can type in some text. And then I can come across here and I can drag it across to the next one. And I can come across here and I can drag it across to the next one like so. And this way, instead of doing everything from scratch, you're actually designing around the principles of design that have been created ahead of time by the bookmark team, and all you need to do is do a bit of switcheroo. I don't want this picture of the cherries here. Click on change image and it's an absolute cinch. I can jump into my products here and I can click on this image instead, double click on that, and look at that, it's even cropped it to the right size. I love how easy this is. Let me show you something else you're going to really love. I've been busy giving this page a bit of a tweak. And one thing I've done is I've given my call to action button a destination. But before I go into that, I want to show you how you can achieve one of these buttons for your very own. So obviously I've created this particular section by adding a section to the page. But this is where we can go back into modules and then we can take individual elements from here and use it to enhance our page, such as this button feature, which I can click and drag across here, and look at that. Behold, a call to action button. Now, by default, this says click me, but if you select the little tag here, you can actually change this to whatever you'd like. And once you've saved out of that, you can experiment with these different features here. You don't really need me to walk them through, but center a line, fairly obvious. Click here, change the color of the text, maybe a yellow, and then we can go into this little section here, which is where you can link your button to another section within your website or indeed anywhere on the internet. So you can see here by default, we have it going to a URL. That could be literally anywhere. We have the contact email address. So if you click on that one, you can actually select from these options here and put in the appropriate details, and that'll fire up that particular default application on your visitor's device. Or if you select here, you can choose a page pre-existing within your website to link to. And that's really fantastic and convenient. This one here, this newsletter page, is where I want to link to, but of course I've already created my button, so let me just delete out of this and show you how it works. We'll get out of modules, into preview. Of course, we're going to be prompted to save and continue. That way we're not going to lose any of our work. And then once we're in preview mode, if I go down here and click sign up for discounts, boom, I've got a fantastic template applied to the page using sections to took me a half a minute and I had created this amazing landing page to entice people further to subscribe to my newsletter. Let me show you some other truly exciting and revolutionary editing options that you have in Bookmark. Look at this. We have a text block on the page here, and in fact this is, of course, one of our sections. But now I want to make it my own, and how do I do that? Well, let's say we want to change this title. As soon as I select that text, whether I select it all or even a little bit, or just even click in the middle of it, it brings up this little submenu. And here is where I have a range of options, not dissimilar to the call to action button, where I can actually change the parameters of this heading. Or I want to change the size, or I want to change which heading it actually relates to. I can do all of that through this simple click and play menu. Down below here, you can see we have a text block. And once again, this is defined by the section that we have on the page, but you can actually make some changes. So, of course, selecting text and then starting to type is where we can place our own content. And of course, you can type as much as you'd like. In addition to that, you can bring in some other elements from our modules across to the left here, including one that I think you're going to really like. So see this guy here, this is our code module. And if we click on that and bring it across, we can put it at the top or we can put it at the bottom. Wherever that black line appears is where our code module will drop in. But what's the code module for, I'm sure you're asking? Across the internet, there are a range of third-party providers that can offer all kinds of enhanced functionality for your website. And one of the best ways to get that quickly and easily into your website is to use an embed code, which is exactly what this is for. When I click, it gives me a box, and all I need to do is find something to embed. Well, I've got something prepared right here. You've seen a YouTube video before, of course, and when you click share, you may not have noticed this little embed code option. If we click on that and then select this text here and copy that to our keyboard and then go on back, we can, of course, paste that in here and then save our page and then preview the website. And you can see we've been able to very quickly and easily embed a video onto our page. But in actual fact, you don't need to embed YouTube videos in this way because we have got a special module just for that. You can see here it is here. I drag this across and then I can choose where the source of the video is, and then we have the video embedding the same way. But it's a truly wonderful thing that you can take third-party applications and embed them on the page so easily in Bookmark. You can even customize the padding, which is the amount of white space around the outside of your embed. And you can even choose whether you've got a border and what the style is. So lots of options there. And of course, remember, you're not limited to putting in a YouTube video in that way. You can use any third-party app that allows embedding of their code and insert it directly into your Bookmark website. So definitely have a little browse around. With all the different modules that we have available, there is sure to be a solution to meet your criteria using Bookmark as your website platform. And of course, if you get stuck, there are helpful guides covering every module and its purpose in great detail, so be sure to check those out. Before we go, I've got a little tip for you. When you're working with sections, you'll often find that maybe the order needs to be changed. And just like the pages in Bookmark, you can simply click and drag and drop to reorder the ordering of your sections on the page. One other little tip I've got for you is that we've made it extra easy for you to gain access to the other layouts of a particular type. So this one here, this video background here, if you come over here to the right, we've got our call to action there, tells us what section this is from. And then notice this is layout 6. We can actually now scroll through to layout 7 and layout 8, and we can just keep going and looking at all the different layouts and previewing them here, giving them an opportunity to show us what they've got. And when you see one that you think this is the one, well, you can simply stop and then click anywhere on that section, change out the text for whatever you'd like it to be, or delete it or add more text, and really make it your own using this amazing feature. If you jump back into sections, you are going to be a kid in a candy shop. I'm not kidding. There are so many sections here. You have got hundreds of options, and all of these options are included with your bookmark subscription. Absolutely no extra cost. So jump in here and use as many of those as you like and build out some amazing looking pages. Next, we're going to discover how you go about setting up your e-commerce store.